like to welcome you all formally here to the House of Lords, to the 4th International Cengiz Aytmatov Award. I hope you've got a very full agenda this evening, and I hope you'll enjoy the ceremonies, the food, and talking to one another. I think it's a huge privilege to host an event with such a very, very distinguished guest list and people from so many different backgrounds. I've met some wonderful people already, and I'm looking forward to hearing a lot more this evening. We've got video presentations, we've got awards, we're going to hear from various speakers, so I think you'll be very stimulated by what you hear.
Good evening, everybody. Dobry wieczór, dorogie gości. I'm very pleased to see you all this evening in the House of Lords. I am a member of the House of Lords, a Liberal Democrat member of the House of Lords for the last year. I have been here for 14 months now, so I'm still relatively new in the House of Lords. I had the great opportunity in September this year to go to Kazakhstan for the first time. I have previously been in the Soviet Union, in Russia many times. I studied in Voronezh University in the Soviet Union in 1988, and then I taught English in Leningrad, as it still was, in 1990-91. But that was my very first time in Kazakhstan, and I found it a wonderful opportunity to meet the dynamic people of Kazakhstan and to see this new city of Astana for myself. It was amazing to see a city that is literally growing as you look at it, and some of the innovations that they have in town planning and in particularly in the field of universities and institutes make it, I believe, a world-class city that we should look at and expect to see more of in the years to come. When I was in Kazakhstan in September, I was there as part of a cultural festival on languages, and I had the opportunity, the great privilege of meeting Dulat Izabekov. I was told that I was going to see his play, The Transit Passenger, for 3 nights in a row, which I thought that might be a little bit testing. But the first evening we saw it in English, and the second evening we saw it in Russian, and the third evening we saw it in Kazakh. And this was a truly wonderful opportunity to understand the differences between languages and cultures. And each evening we saw a wonderful performance, and each evening we saw a different interpretation of this wonderful play. By the end of the third evening of spending some time with Dulat Izabekov, I realized that he was a wonderful man who I feel almost privileged to call a friend. The play, The Transit Passenger, is a play about life. It's a play about getting older. It's a play about love. It's a play about anxiety about being alone. By the time I saw the play in the original language of Kazakh, it was so beautifully acted that even though I didn't understand a word of the actual play, I had tears in my eyes. So it's my very great privilege this evening to give out the first award of the evening. And the award, I believe, unless I'm going to be surprised, is to if I can call him, my very dear friend, Dulat Izabekov.
It's my pleasure to let you know who the second award is. And the second award goes goes to the Xinjiang People's Press, the publishers of a rare edition of the complete works of Genghis Aytmatov, 8 volumes in the Uyghur language. It was published by the Xinjiang People's Press in China in 2011. And I'm sure the whole press isn't coming, but somebody's coming to receive this.
Hürmetlik mihmanlar, aziz dostlar. I'm really moved here, I don't know what to say. The complete works of Genghis Aytmatov, or Genghis Aytmatov'un eserleri, was published in 2011 in Uyghur by Xinjiang People's Press, Xinjiang Khalq Neshriyati, in 8 volumes. Many of the works are translated from Russian directly, and many translated from Chinese. And it's an honor for me to be able to stand here tonight and to receive the award on behalf of Xinjiang Khalq Neshriyati, whose representative is Mr. Ali Tokhte, who I contacted, but unfortunately can't be with us tonight due to visa complications. What I'm holding in my hands isn't only an award for the publisher, but will be a source of pride for the translators who I insist on naming one by one. Khalim Salih, Nur Muhammad Dolete, Halime Muhammad, Munarjan Tukhtakhun, Perhat İlyas, Dilber Yakub, Azizcan Meksud, Abduvali Khalpet, Perhat Cilan, Ötkür Uyghur, Amrcan Haji, Ahmed Imin. Some of whom are still alive, some have sadly left us. This will also be a source of pride for the Uyghur people who, as demonstrated by the 8-volume Uyghur translation of Mr. Aytmatov's works, despite their particular geopolitical experiences of modern history, strive to remain in a cultural unity with their Central Asian brethren, of whose history they have always been an inseparable part. I'd like to thank Professor Rahima Abduvaliyeva, who I had the pleasure to meet earlier this year in SOAS, for enthusiasm for Uyghur culture and her efforts to bridge post-Soviet Central Asian culture and the Uyghur communities outside of it. Thank you very much. Good
evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here tonight with you, and I am honored to be invited to announce that the third prize, the third award, goes to Madame Lily Denis from France for the excellent French translation of Genghis Aytmatov's works, including Farewell Ulsari, The White Steamship, and the Cassandra's Brand. Maybe some of you know, but I would like to remind that Miss Lily Denis is a translator of Russian literature. She was graduated at the National School of Modern Oriental Languages, translated over 100 volumes of Romantic literature, about half of it is major works, and 40 dramas, half of them played in the National Theatre of France or Francophonie, or transmitted on France Culture. Halperin Kaminsky Prize, she was awarded in Paris. Gorky Prize, Moscow. Russophonie Homage Paris, and many other awards she was given. As far as I know, she is not, unfortunately, here with us tonight, and that's why I would like to hand over the prize to her representative, Ms. Zohra Doksi. I would like just...
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I would like just to add to this that I'm honored to consider myself as a contemporary to Genghis Aytmatov. I was lucky to know him personally when I was posted to the embassy of Uzbekistan in Brussels, he was ambassador of Kyrgyzstan in Brussels. And we met on a number of different occasions. And we had a conversation. And when my father visited Brussels, they met before, but I organized a meeting for them. They had long conversation with each other. And this conversation was video recorded, and then it went as a basis for a series of television programs on the Uzbekistan television, which was very successful, very attractive for the population. And so I would like to express my gratitude that Professor Rahima Abduvalieva doing so much in order to promote heritage of Chingiz Aytmatov in the United Kingdom and beyond. And I would like to say that although from ethnical point of view he is considered as a Kyrgyz, but we do not consider him as only Kyrgyz. We consider him as also our man who was very close to Uzbekistan, was very close to Uzbekistan people. So we consider him as not only, by the way, belonging to the region of Central Asia, but man of universal importance. So thank you for your attention.
Tribute to Chingiz Aytmatov. As a French translator, I am honored to have been invited to London for the ceremony dedicated to the great Kyrgyz writer Chingiz Aytmatov by the academy which bears his name. Although I do not know a word of Kyrgyz, both of us speak Russian. Aytmatov is perfectly bilingual and has very well translated his own works. It was through the French poet Louis Aragon that I discovered him and then offered him to the French-speaking public. 4 languages to reveal an author. Here we see the great importance of translation. Translator Chingiz not only did Kyrgyz into Russian, but also Russian into Kyrgyz, allowing him to introduce many Russian masterpieces, classic or modern, to his country and to open up the way to knowledge and to possible mutual understanding. Forgotten values of the past, or just born today, began to circulate or recirculate, carried not only by the strong will carved into his features, but also by the sensitivity, compassion, and humanity of his words. The charm of his poetic world, his loyalty to the traditional legends associated with his yearning for progress, qualities that go well with his dignified, reserved, and deeply moving appearance. And more, these qualities were also of a fine diplomat, ambassador of his country in Brussels. But of these others will talk more pertinently than me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, the 4th award of tonight goes to the Hungarian Embassy in the United Kingdom for the complete translations of Chingiz Aytmatov's work into Hungarian language. The writer's novel, The White Cloud of Genghis Khan, was translated first time by David Shomfai Kara, directly from Kyrgyz into Hungarian. So may I invite the representative of the Hungarian Embassy, please.
It takes so sometimes, even on the expense of literal accuracy. Let me give you one example. The original title is Pharaoh Gulzari. The Hungarian translation of the title is The Death of a Racehorse. The Hungarian culture is said to be like a ferry boat on the borderline river between West and East. It belongs to both sides, irrevocably to the Western culture and undeniably to the East's one. Today evening, I'm especially happy to see the evidence of it by receiving this award in London, in the House of Lords, commemorating the great Kyrgyz writer who wrote both in Kyrgyz and Russian language. If I had characterized the Hungarian culture as being a ferry boat role between West and East, Chingiz Aytmatov, serving the USSR, Russia, then Kyrgyzstan in Western Europe, must be acknowledged even more as a real and honorable ferryman between different cultures and people. Hungary highly appreciates the award and takes it as an encouragement to go on this line. Thank you.
The fact that Chingiz Aytmatov wrote in the Russian language, it was in fact like many others, just because my father came from Ukraine, I can say that Nikolai Gogol enriched a lot the Russian language, just because he wrote in it. And I think that the same is true of Chingiz Aytmatov. It was not only for words, although literature is about the word in the first place. In the name of the Chingiz Aytmatov Academy, the award to Helen Bernatchez, who is a musicologist and an expert on Dmitry Shostakovich. She received this award for her invaluable assistance in creating the Aytmatov Academy in London and for her support in producing translations of Chingiz Aytmatov's works in English, French, and German.
It is a great honor for me to be here in London as a Canadian through an incredible chain of chances. I have met Aytmatov personally in Germany, in Cologne and in Aachen. I could actually talk to him.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to be here today, this nice evening. We have today very distinguished guests like ambassadors, lords, highly diplomats, and representatives of business. And I'm especially happy to introduce today two my very good friends who are very young, but at the same time they achieved great success in sport. Now they are studying here in England. The first one is the Olympic champion in boxing of 2004 and best boxer of the Olympics in Athens, Mr. Bakhtiar Ataev. And the second one is the Olympic champion of the London Olympics and the best boxer of the London Olympics, Mr. Cedric Sapi. The Lord Palmerston, the former British Prime Minister, said once, and these words are wrongly attributed to another great British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill: Britain has no eternal friends or enemies, but permanent interests. We invite English companies, English friends to come to Kazakhstan, to invest to Kazakhstan, to work with our companies, and to have common projects with us, and you will have your interests there. Thank you very much.
I hope you've all enjoyed this evening. I certainly have. It's been it's been great to meet so many people from so many different backgrounds and to hear so much more about Chingiz Aytmatov, which I didn't know, and I know far more now. I shall certainly be reading his work more in the future. And thank you very much. This is really very kind. I'm very unexpected, but very kind. And I hope you've enjoyed the House of Lords here with my colleagues. We've got another colleague at the back there, Lord Hussein, if you'd like to stand up. It's one of my colleagues over there. Lucas Barry. Baroness Sati, who you've already met. There are other colleagues who couldn't be here, who would have liked to have been here, who sent their apologies, and who would like to be involved in any future events as well. So thank you very much.